And now to China, where in recent hours we've learned that President Xi Jinping has purged one of his most trusted and senior generals. This is huge news. This is the biggest military shake-up since the Cultural Revolution, underscoring a regime where loyalty to the leader now outweighs rank, experience, or even proximity to power. Here to discuss this, and we'll cover other topics too, our Sky News contributor Kosha Gada. We were wondering how to pronounce his name. General Zhang Yujia is where we've got to. He was a princeling, so he was a descendant of people involved in the Cultural Revolution. These individuals in the Chinese regime are usually untouchable. The allegations look to be in relation to he or people around him are leaking nuclear secrets to the United States. Now, if that's true, and the fact that a man of this stature has been removed and we don't know what's actually happened to him, this is really significant.
It is significant. And with China, as we know, it is really impossible to know what the allegations are they true or not. It feels on the surface hard to believe that somebody of his stature and level and history in the party would be an asset, or that the U.S. might have turned him, though anything is possible. But it is very surprising that he's been removed from the little that we know. Not only his aristocratic background in the party, he is one of the few people in the party that actually served in combat in Vietnam, so he actually has direct firsthand experience with war. He's in charge of the Taiwan unit, and he has stayed 7 years past his retirement. So President Xi picked him to stay past his retirement because of his importance. And then to see this, certainly people are wondering, is it in relation to Taiwan? Is it in relation to nuclear secrets? I think time may or may not tell, but definitely something is amok.
Or was he moving against Xi? Was there, a cabal of people unhappy with particular directions of the president? We will see. We will see. Talk to me about what's happening in the United States. The second night shooting in Minneapolis. It's dominating the media in the United States. Give me your assessment.
It's definitely a powder keg. I think the big picture is it is unfortunately a predictable consequence downstream of half a century of policy that the U.S. has pursued in many other countries to greater or lesser extents. Very, very generous immigration policy that turned into suicidal, you could say, just from an illegal immigration standpoint at the federal level, the state and local level, these sanctuary cities, and a deliberate dereliction of duty and specifically not cooperating with the feds, which creates this sort of environment. And the third thing is the culture, where the left has won the culture war up until now, at least, was more dominant in sort of moralizing, normalizing and moralizing, I would say, immigration. And when you have that, then you see U.S. citizens and people like that who feel so righteous in their belief of that cause that they feel perfectly comfortable injecting themselves into active law enforcement operations, which is what this is. And then, unfortunately, these kinds of things happen. The last person that was killed was there with a gun. It's the land of the Second Amendment. You're free to have a gun. You're not free to inject yourself into an active live operation, and that happened. But it makes it tough because this is already a very contrasting viewpoint and very controversial polarizing issue. And when you have things like this happen, it's not a good look. But I think the administration is just powering through, and you're trying to get anywhere from 40 to 50 million illegals out of the country.
And do you think broadly across the United States there is still support for Trump's view that we will control our borders and we will control the people in the country who come into our country?
The big picture, yes. The shift that has happened is remarkable just since he entered the political arena. It's something like 70% of people on illegal immigration, at least, want all of them out, even the nonviolent offenders. But then when you get into the how and the execution of it, this one is very polarizing. The country's very divided, and it's about 50-50. A lot of the Democrats and independents don't like what it looks like, federalizing the streets and sending ICE agents in there. But unfortunately, that is the way it looks.
Some Liberals didn't like the fact that when we said we stop the boats, we'd have to actually stop them. We'd have to put the Navy out there and at the border protection, and things would get messy. But if you're going to do what you say you're going to do...
This is what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. Just quickly, the Supreme Leader of Iran reportedly in hiding, fearing there could be a US strike. I know that there's been battle group movement for the United States in and around the region. Ooh. Again, another opaque regime like China. Give me your best take on Iran.
Very opaque. I think he understands self-preservation. He's obviously watching what happened with the 12-day war, taking out the nuclear sites, what happened with Maduro in Venezuela. He knows that Trump really, really does not like the idea of the U.S. getting sucked into quagmire and boots on the ground. But he also has seen, as has everybody, that Trump is very comfortable doing these big surgical strikes, taking out people at the top, doing symbolic things like that. And I think that's why he's worried. Regime is very weak with those protests, and that's probably why he's finding himself in a bunker.
And he's unpredictable. And I think that's his biggest strength at the moment with these bad guys, is his unpredictability. Kosha, thank you. Great to be back on the program.